Okay, so I wanted to get this video out sooner than later, but it ended up being later, and that's my bad on that. It ended up, over the weekend and then with raid hours, and this took a lot of time. I even got my girlfriend involved to help me out with it. So we took the time to actually level these thralls, not just use a command and level them up. We wanted to test it with thralls that are more realistic. You never know what you're going to get. A lot of it's RNG, and we wanted to do that for this. Now, going into this video, I had some expectations, and at the same time, they were not high expectations. I know all about Tamos, a little too much about Tamos. He's a legend at this point, and there's tons of videos on him, so I'm not going to take my time in this video to discuss Tamos. This is just me testing various thralls, especially popular thralls, against him, and for you all to enjoy. And this was also for me, but I figure, I'll share it. So I took the extra steps to try to make the viewing process better for you, as you will see, so you can understand what we're working with here. This almost feels like this is going to be another Funcom rant for me, but we'll get into that, and we'll okay. Anyways, as you can see on the screen, I have all the stats from the thralls that are fighting, so you can, look over that. And, this is the reason I said this could turn into a Funcom rant for me, but before I dive into that anymore. So gear-wise in this video, we are going to be focusing on a strength build and a vitality build. Very, very simple gear, not hard to obtain. I'm going to be using the Yamatai Warlord. We're going to also be using some of the Void Forge Dragon pieces, Redeemed Legion Pauldron. We're going to be using Godbreaker Grip and some Pick Dish to fill in the other areas. We do swap these out a bit, but those are the main things we're going to be sticking with for this video's purpose. Obsidian Mace with Master Weapon Fitting. The gear has bulked plating on it naturally, so we just kind of wanted to stay with these two kits. One's more towards strength, one's more towards vitality. Of course, people always say run vitality, and they're not wrong. Now, the reason I say this is not going to be a video about me discussing Tamos or praising Tamos, more of a Funcom rant, is, to be honest, it's kind of frustrating. The more I get into Conan, and I'm very late getting into Conan. I was busy playing other survival games while Conan was slowly, putting along on life support, as it still is. No offense, Funcom, no offense. But anyways, I guess my main gripe here is, as you can see right now, Tamos is currently fighting a volcano thrall. A volcano thrall is technically an end game thrall. So, to me and most people, a Tamos is an early game thrall. He's very easy to get. When you put Tamos up against the volcano thrall, you think strength is going to matter. Naturally you would. Now, I play on unofficial servers where thrall damage to players is usually at 0.5, if not even lower. I know on official, with the thrall damage being normal, that some thralls can literally one-shot people, and a lot of people like to hide behind their thralls, just like people like to hide behind their dinosaurs and turrets on Ark. That's why I said this video is more just for your enjoying purposes and for me to share my opinions, and maybe you have some opinions you'd like to share, and maybe some of the opinions I put out there you even agree with. But it just frustrates me that if you're playing PvP, now if you're on PvE or even PvE conflict, you can have whatever thrall you want. Of course, other thralls are, they'll be better equipped for PvE situations like bosses and stuff, killing them quicker. A Tamos will do that just fine. It just might take a few more hits. Mind you, the results with Lian actually surprised me. I hear a lot of people dogging on Lian these days, but surprisingly, he did okay. But like I said in the beginning of the video, that this was trying to be more of a realistic test. As you can see, these Tamoses, they're not the greatest, they're not the worst either. It's just what it got rolled. And we went through a lot trying to get, you know, decent rolls and whatnot. And this Lian was a pretty good roll. And, you know, we put him up against Tamos, and he did pretty good. And I'm like, people are always dogging on Lian, but, you know, from my testing right here, Lian was a very good thrall, and he's a guaranteed spawn. Whereas Dalinsia and then, you know, volcano thralls going up there to get them, you know, it's just, he's not a bad thrall to go after, especially on the official side of things, especially if he can hit a player, because he's strong. He's gonna hurt. Now, a Tamos with more health is going to, of course, win against him. They just are. And this is just how Funcom made the game. It's just how they made thralls. And when you're on the PvP side of things, you would think that the thralls that you end up getting later game are going to be stronger. I'll even discuss Purge thralls. Purge thralls are rare. That's the only way you can get some of them on exiled lands. Same thing with Sipta. You have to do surges. And these are rare thralls. So you expect these rare thralls to be good. You expect them to be great. You expect them to be able to go against the Tamos. I'm honestly flustered. I don't know what to say, because it's a little frustrating from the PvP side of things personally, because if any of you have played Ark revolves around dinosaurs. Now, if the T-Rex was the best dinosaur, you know, the go-to dinosaur, and they have tons of other dinosaurs, but the Rex is the best. Everyone's going to tame the Rex, and then everyone's using the Rexes and spending their time on that and breeding those and whatnot. And then over here on Conan, you go out of your way to tame different thralls, yet an early game thrall who is extremely easy to tame and extremely easy to level. He gets XP like crazy compared to, say, a volcano thrall. It's just ridiculous that that thrall can take you through the entire game, and he has literally become, on exiled lands, the most sought out thrall. Why? He's easy. He's easy to get. He's easy to level. Why waste your time going to the mounds and having to fight through things just to find a Dalinsia who might not even be there? Why even bother going up north? It could be trafficked. Now, you do have to worry about the traffic near Tamos these days, because everyone's taming them, because, well, everyone's gonna flock to the meta. And that's the thing with PvP on Conan. There's a very strong meta, and it's not getting addressed. Like, I got into a fight with a couple of guys, and they were in heavy gear, and I was in light gear, and I won. Of course, I shouldn't win, right? They're in heavy gear. Logically, you shouldn't. They weren't very happy about that I was using the meta PvP build, but that's what Conan is. It's a meta game. So Funcom has stayed true to that. I've even seen people on the forums and in various places complaining about how busted Tamos really is. He is busted. This shouldn't be the case for a thrall. If you've been watching the video and paying attention to the stats of some of these, you know, the damage should win, the strength should win, right? Logically it should. And I know you've probably watched videos or heard other people discuss numbers and percentages with thralls, but at the end of the day, it just doesn't matter. Just tame a Tamos. Just get Tamos. Tons of them. Even now, if you're doing like boss runs and stuff like that, and you want thralls that are going to hit a little bit harder to get it done quicker, of course you can do that. But in the PvP side of things, the meta is going to be Tamos. It just is. And that's what I learned from this even more. Now, I do have some volcano thralls on a server I'm on that have killed some Tamos, but you also got to take in the fact that he could have got stun locked, lag, ping, you know, just luck of the draw. you're not seeing the full fights here because this video would probably be an hour long. But all in all, some of the fights were a little skewed. You know, one wasn't attacking, it was just kind of standing there. It wanted to attack, but it didn't actually go through. You all are aware of this. You know how thralls can just stand there looking like an idiot, and you're just spamming attack or trying to get it to come back to you while it's stuck in a corner getting piked by 3 people with poison and bleed, and it's tragic. Like, a part of me, sometimes when I go out to defend my base or raid, I don't even want to have a thrall. A thrall is nice to help me fight other thralls, but I know an experienced player isn't going to die to that thrall, and if they do, I'm going to teabag them because it's hilarious, but that's just because the servers I play on, the damage is nerfed. So that's why I usually go for thralls that hit harder to make up for that. And I'm not worried about Tamos. I'll just get my thrall out of there. But like I was saying, sometimes I just think it's better to not have a thrall. You spend a lot of time on these things. You gotta knock them out. You gotta put them on a wheel. Then you gotta take them around and hold their hand and feed them and level them up and show them the world. And then they die in under 5 minutes, and it's like, oh boy. It's kind of tragic when you really think about it. But these are just my opinions on this. I just wanted to share my results with it. I'm not going to sit here and give you all these statistics and numbers. There's plenty of people who did all that. But at the end of the day, just having a Teimos is just the best option because more health will win, whereas more strength, if that Tamos has more health, then that more damage isn't going to mean much. So it'd be nice if Funcom would address this, but I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up if you want to, of course. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life, but if you're not subscribed and you would like to subscribe, go ahead and do that, and I'll see you guys in the next one, and hopefully I've recovered from my sanity dropping from dealing with this fun stuff.